Let's find the inverse of this function right here. F of x equals 6x plus 15. How do we get the inverse of a problem like this? Okay, we know f of x is our output, x is our input. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace the f of x with a y for our output. Once you do that, now what I tell my students to do is just replace these with each other. So we're flipping them. Y becomes x, x becomes y. So where the y was, write the x. Where the x is, write the y. Now we need to solve for y. So what I would do here, just like any other literal equation, we're trying to get y isolated all alone by itself. So I'm gonna have to get rid of this 15, I'm gonna have to get rid of this 6 through inverse operations. Okay, we've been doing that since early algebra days. Minus 15 cancels, minus 15. These are non-like terms, so keep them separated. X minus 15 equals 6y. Now, we could divide by 15. That's going to give me a nasty fraction here. I may not want to deal with that right now. So we could also multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, 6 is really just 6 over 1. So its reciprocal is 1/6. That way we can show the distributive property over here. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 6, which is 1/6. So let's just say times 1/6. This would cancel this. And then if I want to multiply all of this expression times 1/6, we need to put parentheses around it. So we're going to say times 1/6. So what we're left with is y all by itself. I'm going to put it on the left side. So I'm just going to take this y, move it to the left, because I always like having y on the left. So it's in slope-intercept form if we're going to be writing it out like that. 1/6 times x minus 15. 1/6 x minus 15. We now have the inverse function of our original. Okay, so how do we do that? We replaced f of x with a y. Then we swap the x's and the y's. We just flip them. X goes here, y goes there. Rewrote it out, solved for y, isolated y, and now I have an inverse function of my original. Follow those steps and you can get your inverses just like that. You remember those steps from the previous problem? Let's do that exact same thing with this one, okay? We've already got a y, we've already got an x, so what are we gonna do with those? We're gonna flip them, we're gonna swap them with each other. So x comes over here, y comes right here, plus 6. And now we've gotta isolate y. So we've gotta get y all alone by itself. That means I gotta get rid of the 6, then I gotta get rid of that cube. So we're subtracting 6 to cancel, subtracting 6. Again, non-like terms. X minus 6 is equal to y cubed. How do I get rid of an exponent of 3? What's the opposite of cubing something? That would be to cube root it. Cancels each other out. I got to cube root the entirety of this expression, so I need to put cube root over all of it. And again, y is all that I have left on the right side. I don't like seeing it on the right side. I'm going to put it on the left. And I'm just going to copy this information down over here on the right. Cube root of x minus 6. And this would be your inverse of this original function. Now you got a doozy. This one's got a few more steps along with it. Make sure you follow order of operations in reverse. We're finding the inverse, right? So here we go. Remember, finding the inverse, swap the x and the y with each other. So they need to flip those. X is now equal to 4 times y minus 3 to the 5th power plus 21. Okay, so because the last thing we do in PEMDAS when we're doing order of operations is addition and subtraction, we need to get rid of the addition and subtraction first because we're inversing. We're doing the opposite of what PEMDAS tells us to do. So we start with addition, then we're going to go to multiplication, then we got to get rid of the exponent, and we'll finish with parentheses. So we're going to subtract 21, cancels, subtract 21. Now I've got x minus 21 is equal to 4 times y minus 3 to the power of 5. We're going to get rid of that 4 now. Now remember, we're going to put parentheses around this because we're going to multiply this by 1/4, the reciprocal of 4. 4 is really just 4 over 1. Its reciprocal is 1/4. So that's what we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we can multiply it by both of these terms over here. Okay, so we're just going to say all of this times 1/4. The 1/4 is going to cancel that 4. Multiply this entire side by 1/4. Now what I have is 1/4 times x minus 21 is equal to y minus 3 to the power of 5. y minus 3 to the power of 5. Opposite of putting something to the power of 5 is fifth rooting it. We're going to take the fifth root of that. That will cancel the 5s. We're going to take the fifth root of all of this. Now we've got a lot over here, a little bit over here. This is equal to y minus 3 now. We can remove those parentheses. We've got the fifth root of 1/4 times x minus 21. And now I just got to add that 3, and it's just going to go outside of all of this information. So plus 3 plus 3. It does not want to be part of the fifth root of this expression. So final answer, this cancels, leaving me with just y. Y is now equal to all of this plus 3. So the fifth root of 1/4 x minus 21. And then on the outside of that radical, we're going to put plus 3. Plus 3. You can now find inverses of just about any function that you're going to see in your early calculus courses. All right, study hard and good luck on your upcoming test.